Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Jnana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Adorations to Sadguru, who is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme preceptor. Yoga Vasistha, in Utpatti Prakarana, section 118. The topic is 7 steps of wisdom, Sapta Bhumikas. That's one of the most highlighted theme of Yoga Vasistha. Shri Vasistha continued, now listen to the 7 stages of knowledge. Their practice will lead you out of the mire of ignorance and will give rise to the glorious state of liberation. Brahman, reflecting in the purified mind, becomes the remover of ignorance and is known as knowledge or wisdom. Remember, maneva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Mind is the cause of bondage and release. So, whatever is your choice, it can be worked only in and through the mind. You choose to stay with the world, pravritti, you have to use your mind. You have to choose to dump yourself in the mire in the name of being admired. That also is your choice. If you want to become liberated, that also has to be worked through the mind. So you have no other choice. Mind has to be your basis. Remember, always give you the mirror illustration. Liberation is just like a beauty practice. Every day you look at the mirror. In handling a mirror, 3 things you have to be careful of. Mirror should not have dust over it. If you don't attend to that, then you are developing a strange concept about how do you look. Your understanding of yourself through your mala-grast mind, impurity-inflicted mind, that is not you. But that's the story of all the miseries and sorrows and troubles and turmoils. All the history is filled with that type of erroneous understanding of you. You are not seeing your face. You are seeing your face spread out. How spread out? I will not go into that. And broken up. You can try it. Put dust and scratch the mirror. See how it looks. See, one nose becomes broken up. Your eyes will scatter. Your ears will become horns. Mala-based study of what you are. And if you remove the mala, the mirror has been wiped clean. Now, as you begin to look into it with all that previous concept, you can't believe it. You think that you have made a big error to clean up the mirror. Because you suddenly can't become so divine. You have been divine, struggling for the smallest thing. And now you look so wonderful. The mind also does the illusion that this wonderful vision of myself, am I really sure it could be more wonderful? This way, that way. So mirror begins move in your hand, shaken. Can't hold the mirror because can't believe the way you are looking. All this allegorical way of describing. As you begin to discover your identity, as mala begins to move away, day by day you have not, people hold their grief, and in brief, all the bitter experiences, day by day. On that basis, you define yourself. This is me. That me that has kept your mind so degraded, now mala moves away and you have a different vision of yourself. You didn't take any magic medicine. What has happened? And now that stage is as if you are holding the mirror, but your hand is shaking constantly. So you can't see yourself. That's called Vikshepa. Vikshepa, first one, mala is corrected by channelizing your energy in a right way, karma yoga, allowing your karma, your action to flow along with karma yoga process. The second one, Vikshepa, is handled by devotion and meditation, love of God, mantra, japa, and surrender to God. All these have to get into your mind. Then distraction, the strength of distraction diminishes. And now you begin to see a revelation that you don't have to become anything. Your real face has effaced all your illusions. Just like a reflected sun in a jar, we have to realize I am the sun. That type of revelation. That's called Jnana. And that Jnana movement has 7 steps. So all that your purpose of existence and coming back into the world again and again is just for to have this beauty test. And the mirror has been given to you. The 7 stages of knowledge. Now I'll give you a little flavor of the original literature. Reciting from Yoga Vasistha. Satyavabodho mokshascha evaiti padartha namini. Satyavabodho jivoyam Neha bhuyo puya prarohati. Brahman, reflecting the purified mind, becomes the remover of ignorance. And this is known as wisdom or knowledge. Realizing the truth or revelation of truth and liberation are synonyms. Both mean the same thing. Attaining liberation is not attaining anything, just a revelation of who am I. Until you have come to this state of enlightenment, you are living in a world where attaining means changing your whole setup. Attaining means becoming something. Yesterday you were poor, got a lottery ticket. You will. Tomorrow you're rich, big. From poor you became rich. So that's rich. In the morning you were sad. By the evening you became glad. It's constantly becoming. If you stay with becoming, that doesn't become of you. Self-realization is not becoming. It's not something that one day attain it. Like somewhere there is a crown there and just work hard and go there and put the crown on you. Self-realized. Self-realization, removing all illusions. Sun that was obscured by the clouds. And now whatever the sun was expressing through the cloud was not the sun. When clouds have been moved away, the sun does not have to get anything better. Sun that is viewing through the cloud needs changes. As cloud diminishes, sun appears better, lesser. But when clouds are gone, sun is not in the process of being enriched. Sun is all full. This point has to get deep into the mind. Revelation is not a fruit of karma, that you have to do so many things and then revelation jumps upon. And then he did something wrong and slips away from you. Revelation is a direct, intuitive awareness. Who am I? And that I am, another big wonder, is the only reality in this world. Truth. Truth is that which never changes, absolutely the same. That I am is the truth. And we say, why? So many examples, so many people, so much history, and we don't believe them. We say only one truth. Simple way to understand. All experiences of people are through their brain and nervous system. All your modern business and all the communications you have is your iPhone. But think of how that iPhone is so brittle. And all that you are depending upon is on the little iPhone. This miserable state. It's good to have iPhone, but to live your entire life on that basis of the iPhone, that's not the ideal state. Put yourself to a higher level of looking at yourself. All that you are experiencing in the world, past, present, future, all the progress of science and all that you study and all that you experience, where do they come from? The eye set, the iPad, the big eye, not little one. That iPad is with your bones. It hangs down from your skull. Brain. And little brain centers. And it's tapped by your fingers of your mind. And that creates your life. Creates all what you experience through your mind. Nothing to be wondered about. We have seen how the Google does so many things. One tap brings thousands of information. And yet, you look at your desk, it's a little bit stuff. So look at all the world experience. And where is it coming from? A little brain and nervous system. To view that as the absolute reality, what could be more foolish? And even while you are experiencing all this through your nervous system, in reality, you are beyond your experiences through the nervous system. In reality, you are the one who are witnessing it, operating it. That you have to figure out cannot be defined by your iPad. Nevertheless, your iPad gives you the information. Presently, you can go into Google and get certain spiritual texts, where to study them, how to get a good satsanga. All that becomes possible. I'm joking, but I will not go too far in that direction. Simple point, if illusions move away, then the truth is Brahman. And every individual, every soul is nothing but Brahman, the Absolute. For easy understanding, all reflected suns, no matter whether the sun is reflecting in a little drop of water, even that little bit of the sun, the reality is the sun. All souls, no matter wherever they are, no matter how miserable, how advanced, their reality is one and the same. That's Jnana Bhumi Śubhecchā Prathama Samudahrita Vicāraṇā Dvitiya tu Tritiya Tanumānasa Sattvāpatti Chaturthi Syat Tatah Sansakti Namika Padartha Bhavani Shashti Saptami Turiyaga Smrita. All the 7 steps I have put into these verses. And the meaning is, the 7 stages of knowledge are Śubhecchā, first one. Śubha-ichchā, Śubha, auspicious. Short term, SH, relates to Kalyan, absolute auspiciousness, absolute goodness. Therefore, Lakshmi Devi is Shri. And Bhava relates to Bhagavan, Bhagavan God. God who is characterized, who has these attributes, Jnana, absolute wisdom, absolute dispassion, absolute power, lordliness, absolute prosperity, absolute vairagya, and all that. There are 6 big qualities that go to form 6 attributes of God. Shubha contains that one. You're moving towards God realization. That movement is Shubha. You develop aspiration for God realization, then that's called Śubhecchā. Second one is called Vicāraṇā. Vicāraṇā literally translated as reflection. Reflection means mind does not take everything for granted on the basis of the sense perceptions. Mind is alert to gain insight regarding what is real. In other words, think of a child looks in a plate of water during the night when the moon is up there, full moon, and the moon shines in the little jar. And the mother says to the child, look, for you, I love you so much. I brought the moon right here. And the child looks at it. Look at the face. How great is my mother. She brought the moon in the jar. I'm giving it allegorical illustration of if you have childlike mind, then you take everything granted the way you see. But to practice reflection, it means you grow up. You don't hold a childlike mind. You begin to understand what makes your mind a source of pain and bitterness. What makes your mind calm and brings inspiration. What leads your mind to cause a lot of perspiration. What makes your mind bring out inspiration. That's reflection. And putting more in a precise expression, who am I? The best of all things that your mind works upon, the center of behind all is I am. What is that? Knowing which all is known. And so in other words, allow your mind to understand that point, that behind all things that the mind is after your relatives. Mind is after buying all those things for the Thanksgiving Day. Mind is after so many things. But what is the most fascinating thing within your personality? That's you. I am. If you are not there, then what will happen to all that? All the ducks will go away. So reflection means no matter how you are, no matter how things happen, remember, try to understand, who am I? And in order to do that, bring bhakti, devotion. First point to understand, ego-based you has very little, nothing actually, no capacity to do anything. All the vital functions in your body, they are not led by your ego. You don't scold your stomach, digest it. Otherwise, I'll beat you up. Your whole personality is operated by cosmic energy. So you allow your mind to reflect upon, who am I? Vicāraṇā. These points I'm going to give you further elaboration. Next one is called Tanumānasi, attenuation of the mind. That means mind that is constantly pressured by ignorance, egoism, attachment, hatred, fear of death. They are called kleshas, afflictions. These afflictions render your mind helpless. Therefore, you live in a world driven by your uncontrolled whims, moods. In simple terms, raga, dvesha, attachment and hatred. Constantly mind is swinging. But as you advance in your spiritual sadhana, that pressure on your mind becomes attenuated. It becomes very thin. It doesn't go away, but it's just like anger and hate, they are all there. But they stay as if they are dead. I always give a simple illustration. It's like snakes are there, but you have put them in a refrigerator. Act like ropes. Fourth one is called Sattvāpatti. Sattvāpatti is the state of purity. The mind has become, when I was describing mala, gross impurity, you can see your face, but your hand shakes. That shaking is removed by meditation and devotion. But when you begin to see your face in the clear mirror, another point comes in. Since in the world of illusion you have kept big hair, now your hair comes sweeping over your eyes. Everything is perfect. The little veil of illusion stays before you. But that doesn't require much effort. A little shake of your head. Avarana is removed very easily. That avarana is removed, avarana or veil is removed by intuitional knowledge. Who am I? And that state, when it comes, it's called Sattvāpatti. Your mind is no longer restricting the revelation of truth. Once you have gained that, you are not going back into the world of birth and death. You are no longer going to become restricted by worldly miseries. You attain Jivan Mukti. But after you have attained it, certain stages develop. And they are just for your information. You do not have to work hard to, I'm in the fourth step, let me work hard to get into fifth step. You have already attained fullness, complete. Other stages will come by themselves. They are spontaneous stages. Because after enlightenment, new karmas are not formed. And all the accumulated karmas burn up. But only a portion of karma that has given rise to your personality, that karma goes on wearing off. But while it's wearing off, different situations develop in your personality. Personality goes through different stages. So now, next stage after Sattvāpatti, called Asam Sakti. Asam Sakti means absolute detachment. The only way I can describe it, in allegorical way, the feeling I am the sky. Then all the news that breaks every day, it breaks on the sky. Clouds come, crashing in the sky. Soft clouds come, they dance in the sky. All news go on breaking, but nothing breaks the sky. The sky is just the same. The I am in you is the sky. You find yourself completely untouched by how your mind interprets you. The type of detachment is a matter of experience. It is not a matter of concept. Just like when you are sometimes, you have an experience of dream, that even while you are dreaming, it occurs that this is a dream. And you are not awake. Once you have that awareness, it is a dream, now the whole dream experience, on one side, the dream subject. If you are dream subject, you are climbing steps, and there is a horrible creature that throws the steps out. You see the steps crashing. You see the dream subject, which were you, also crashing. But knowing it is all dream, you may not smile too much, but you are calm. This is not happening to me. This is just a show. This type of detachment, while describing, I have to describe it always in an allegorical way. But when you actually spiritually advance, you are in a position, if your mind is more well nourished by spiritual inspiration, your mind is well charged by mantra and faith, then even though you are going through, there is an inner relaxation. Wait and watch. I'm in the hands of God. And all this is going to move away. How deep you can go into it, that again is that much when you come to so deep a state that no matter what happens, your heart is not shaken. And your inner peace is not disturbed. Then that's called Asam Sakti. Not attached, not in any way dependent on anything of this world. And you are viewing the world of all these variations. Next stage, Padartha Bhavana. The whole world experience called Padarth. Some substance is there. But now the whole world experience moves away. Nothing, there's no substance in this world of time and space. It's not such a big thing to understand. Every time you go to sleep state, deep sleep state, all moves away. And you are without padarth, without the substantial description of the world. And nothing has gone wrong with you. Following what the simile I have given, dreaming and knowing it is a dream. Now come to a state coming closer to awakening. The dream has completely vanished. And the last stage, turiya. Towards the last stage, what's happening? That the Jivan Mukta, liberated sage, his karma is wearing out. And only a trace remains. Even that trace is dropping away. From a practical point of view, it's called Videha Mukti. In other words, he has been liberated, but now he is very close to exiting the body. So these are the 7 stages. And let me just repeat to you. Śubhecchā, aspiration. Vicāraṇā, reflection. Tanumānasi, attenuation of the mind. Sattvāpatti, purification of the mind. Asamsakti, detachment from the world process. Padartha bhavana, absolute absence of the world process, as if you have gone into deep sleep. And turiya, the transcendental realization, aham brahmasmi. Now the scripture goes into describing each stage in more detail. Why do I abide in a dull state? The first step is being described, Śubhecchā. How does it enter? And what are the characteristics? Led by good karmas, there comes a stage within one's personality when one begins to question. If you are not led by good karmas, there is no questionable situation. Why do I eat every day? What is the purpose of life? What makes me happy? All those questions have no importance. But now your mind becomes sensitive and you begin to question. And we are shocked by the statement, sarvam dukkam vivekina. The more sensitivity develops, you are not fascinated by any situation, any attainment of this world. You may attain them, but not fascinated by them. This is what I want, I'm now fulfilled. No. You are grown up. That nothing of this world is going to stay with you. And what are you thinking of? No matter how big your imagination, you can't go beyond 100 or 120. Is that all that you expect of yourself? And now, let me go through it. Why am I in the dull state? Let me understand the nature of the self by taking recourse to the guidance of a spiritual preceptor and by studying the scriptures. At this stage, you begin to develop a sensitivity sensitivity to realize that human embodiment is a blessed opportunity. Look at all the animals and birds. Thank God you are a human being. Figure it out. As a human being, then, are you utilizing your opportunity? Manushyatvam, mumukshutvam, mahapurush sanshaya. For souls, three things are great blessings. Manushyatvam, to be born as a human being. Mumukshutvam, developing aspiration for realizing who am I. And finding a spiritual preceptor and coming under his guidance. Mahapurush samshaya. And under the guidance of spiritual preceptor, one begins to study the scriptures. In this process, he develops fourfold qualifications, which are called adhikaritva. Adhikaritva means it makes you a deserving aspirant. You have qualification for attaining enlightenment. If you don't have these qualities, then you are not with perfect equipment, as it were. Now, fourfold qualifications, that again is all Vedantic books give you very easily. 4 points to remember. Vivek means discriminative knowledge. Understand that you cannot just plunge into the world, but mind has to always make a choice between right and wrong, light and darkness, appearance and reality, what is pleasant and what is good. This type of not self. So that type of quality entering into the mind is called vivek, discriminative intellect. If you don't keep your intellect imprisoned, shut up, then intellect automatically begins to assert. Ego says, go this way, but intellect says, no. You will break your leg, you go that way. If you are in a good setup, you will listen to the intellect. But if you are not well guided, you will shut the intellect into a corner and paralyze the intellect. Say, don't speak until I permit you. That's what people do. So many thoughtful situations come. Our intellect is interested. No. What wonderful food is waiting in that. What else? That's so I'm joking. Now, fourfold qualification, vivek, I described. Next, vairagya. You begin to develop dispassion. Dispassion means to understand that you should be the master of your mind, your intellect, your senses. You should not become slave to objects of the world. So vairagya develops in different stages. First stage, you begin to control your senses. To understand if senses are uncontrolled, you are living only to satisfy the senses, your life is extremely shallow. Now we come to a broader understanding that that's just a stage of being a patient. I'm not talking about patience type of patient. You are subject to disease. To give you more in terminology, with proper terminology, first stage of vairagya is called yatamanam. You strive to control your senses. They are always needed to have control. While you eat, you have to have control over your tongue. While you chew, you have to control over your teeth. I'm joking. Next stage called vyatirekam. As you are advancing in the vairagya, you come to recognize that you have degrees of control. And therefore, act accordingly. Degree. In other words, as long as you are not in with the setup of rajasic, tamasic people, you feel happy. But if you will go into it, let me give you a cruder illustration. You have heard drinking and all that, gambling is not good. And you understand it, as long as with your own family and in your own setup. But a smart little friend of yours is taking you to that type of pleasure center. Then you lose your grip over yourself. Now at this stage you begin to recognize how much you can control in degrees. Where you don't have control, you act accordingly, don't fall for it. Where you have control, fine. Don't be afraid. You are not going to be touched. You will be able to stand on your own. So that type of degrees of control, next stage. Third stage, not degrees, complete control. Ekendriyam. Mind is the only thing that needs to be controlled. Sense to come to a stage of realization and a maturity that your senses cannot overpower the mind. The mind stands first, then the senses. If that you are at that stage, you are much free. You can move with so many types of people. You will not be shaken because it depends on your mind. But if mind is not purified, then you are not still settled even with this state of controlling the mind. So therefore, next stage called Vashikaram, Vashikaranam. Rather, Vashikar is a better word. Mind also comes under your control if you begin to enter into samadhi or higher type of experience. All this is called upper vairagya, lower vairagya. Para vairagya, your mind dissolves. In order to understand that, I will bring you this. Bhav pratyaya and pratyaya bhav. Mind-based experiences. Suppose you are watching a cinema show and you have developed this passion towards all the show. Show is going on, but you know that's all illusion. But still, your eyes are moving around all the people. That's upper vairagya. Now comes a stage, the entire projection moves away. You have the technology under your control. You just push the button off. That's para vairagya, supreme dispassion. All these details they're not meant to give you stress, to give you information about different stages that await in your spiritual. So I was discussing 4 qualifications. Vivek, Vairagya, Shat Sampat, 6-fold wealth. They are 6-fold virtues. Shama, serenity of mind. Each virtue is profound. How to when you are working with your mind, lead your mind to the state of serenity. And that will happen if you are doing japa, you are doing sadhana in daily life. Serenity state of mind gives you a type of experience that you can't find anywhere. Mind becomes calm. No past, no future. You begin to understand that every moment can open a channel beyond your imagination. The highest attainment is not in history. Sometimes it's going to come Satya Yuga. The highest attainment is with you here and now. Serenity begins to open the door. Shama, Dhamma. Dhamma is controlling the senses. Next one is called Uparati. Your rati, your delight is not following the process of birth and death. Your delight is to evolve, follow the 7 steps. Titiksha. Therefore, you develop the quality of endurance, quality of wait and watch, not rush and ruin yourself. Shraddha and profound quality, faith is there latent in every individual. As impurities begin to move away, that faith becomes dynamic. Faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in the spiritual movement, faith in light. And 6th virtue is called samadhan. Don't develop a habit of constantly criticizing others and constantly being in criticism. This again is an ideal. It doesn't mean that you literally become completely a dulwit. It means deep in your heart, develop that type of understanding. Since God is within your heart and God is behind the world, everything has a meaning and a purpose. Do your best to keep negative things away from you. Do your best. Leave no stone unturned in putting yourself in the best position possible according to your understanding. But at the same time, don't give a mind of constantly looking down on those who have not succeeded like you. I'm just joking. There are so many things in the world. If it rains too much, the mind is constantly criticizing the rain. It's hot too much. It's constantly, everything is good. Then you criticize what's happening in California. I'm joking, but try to understand. Mind always finds so many areas to stay agitated. But samadhan, mind looks at all this in a peaceful manner. And finally, the 4th quality is called mumukshutva. Burning aspiration. Burning term means Just like you have good appetite, like fire of hunger burning within your stomach. That type of fire is not a tragic fire. It's burning aspiration. It's a joyous aspiration. A lion has come to realize is not a lamb. So there comes a burning aspiration to hear his own roar. So with this I'm going to conclude now. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.